Hey, it's Rob. Leave a message.
We're gonna karaoke until the neighbors complain. And yes, I'm smoking ribs, slow smoked, and beans too. Killer sauce and barbecued rice. All for a song.
This is not a drill.
It's time to grill.
Action!
Karaoke at Rob's. Tomorrow's the 5th annual Ribapalooza. Ribapalooza, you say? Because I'm doing ribs all the time. Slow smoked ribs here. Doing pork ribs, and I'm doing some beef ribs. Look at the fat on this. Slow smoked, it's gonna be crispy, but it's gonna fall right off the bone. Now I'm gonna do a dry rub. Here we go. Little brown sugar for sweetness. Here we go. There we go. Some 5 spice. Now, 5 spice, cinnamon stick, star anise, fennel seed, cloves, and Szechuan pepper. You can pick this up anywhere. Let's get that in there. That's that Asian influence. A little garlic salt. Gotta cook with garlic. Very important, and that comes out really well on the grill. And celery salt instead of regular salt. Here we go. Let's get that all mixed in there. Here we go. Let's get those right onto our ribs now. Start rubbing them in now. That's where all the flavor's gonna come from. We're gonna put these into the fridge for 24 hours. Now, if you don't have 24 hours, you can go 4, but you really wanna let them sit in there for a while. Let's just rub those in. Let's not forget the backside here. Get the other one in here. Now remember I said ribs? We're doing pork ribs too. I'll be back in a second. Spare ribs. Let's take a look at these. A little bit different cut here. Not as much fat, but really tender. We're gonna use the same principles here. We're gonna use a little brown sugar again. And celery salt, again. These are 2 essential elements to barbecuing, sweet, salty. So we're looking for contrast and flavors. Now we're gonna go, we did Asian before, now we're gonna use a little bit of the hot stuff. So we're gonna start with a little garlic powder, a little onion powder. Now I'm using paprika. This is gonna add some color and a bit of hot too, but it's on the sweet side. I'm gonna use chili powder. Again, another hot element, but a little earthier. Get that in there. Let's do the mix, mix, mix. All right. And just like before, this is gonna act as an abrasive here. It's gonna start to break down the fiber of the meat. I'm just gonna rub that right in there. Into the fridge for 24 hours. Practice singing tomorrow. Slow smoked bacon and beans. So we have some bacon in here, which we're just rendering down. We want to get it nice and soft, not crispy, soft. All we need to do, add a little onion for flavor. Mix this around until they're nice and soft. That's it. Little garlic, put that right in. Here we go. Now the flavors are starting to develop. But Rob, where's the smoke gonna come from? Ha ha! Little hickory smoke here. Liquid smoke in a bottle. Couple drops. Don't go crazy. So this has been cooking for about 5 minutes now, ready to go on the rest of our ingredients. But first, we're gonna start with a little chili for heat. And the reason I'm putting them in now is because I want them to release all the oils. A little cumin, then a little oregano. All these flavors are gonna mix together now with the oil and release everything. Now we need a little brown sugar. baked beans from a can. Now, a little Worcester, splash, splash, splash. Feeling good about that. Little ballpark mustard, get that in, more flavor and a little heat, and ketchup. Little sweetness and color here. We want to go liberal on the ketchup. And last but not least, a little applesauce. Now this apple and pork and the beans, they all go together now. Just bring that in together, the little mix. Let this cook for about half an hour. Once that's finished, let it cool down, pop it into your fridge. This lasts for weeks. And you know what, guys? It even tastes better reheated. It's a beautiful day, gargled with some salt water. I'm ready for the karaoke challenge. Take a look at the ribs, 24 hours of marinating here. Woo! There we go. Let's take a look at our beef first. Pull these out. Now, all of that marinade has penetrated deep into the meat. Now I need that upper level. Just get a nice second coating here of the same stuff I used yesterday. Here we go, just get that on top. Just start to rub it in again. Don't forget the backside. Go, rub that in there. Now this beef is ready to be slow smoked for hours. That'll just fall right off the bone. Let's get our pork done. Look at the paprika, woo! There we go, color, wow. So again, penetrated right down into the middle. Now I want the top layer done again. Let's get it all on. As I rub all this in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave these out for about half an hour just before I put them onto the smoker. Why am I doing that? I want the internal temperature to be exactly the same temperature as the outside, which will ensure even cooking for me. The pork and the beef now are at room temperature. Time to check on our wood here. I've got some cherry wood chips on, smoking nice and hot here. Now I'm gonna turn the temperature down to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. This side of the grill is off. I'm using indirect heat here. All that smoke is gonna fill the cavity, and we're gonna put the ribs on. Pork in the back. We want the rib side down, meat side up, looking at us. Put these on. Now, get that closed. Now, if you're working with a lot of sugar in your marinade, honey, brown sugar, maple syrup, you want to use indirect heat, because if you don't, they'll just start to burn, caramelize on you way too much. Indirect heat, this side off, this side on. Just let the smoke fill the cavity. These are going to be on for 4 hours. It's been about 2 hours now. Smoke's died down. Now I can take my first peek. Whoa, did I tell you it was gonna look like this or what? Look at the fat separating from the bone. Another 2 hours and they're gonna come off, but right now they're looking great. It's time to change the wood now. We've had it on for 2 hours. No more smoke left in this packet. Off. Let's just get this one on. Close our lid down. 2 more hours, just let the smoke envelop. Those ribs are gonna taste really good. So we're gonna make our whiskey barbecue sauce here. Got a little sauteed onion, butter, and oil. That's the base. Now let's start. A little whiskey here. Woo. A little ketchup. Let's mix this around. Little Worcester, because you know that splash just adds that little tang in there. Little cider vinegar, apple cider, just a little splash. Now maple syrup, all that sweetness. And this will start to thicken up too. The molasses. Ooh. Pour that in. There we go. Mix that around. Little celery salt instead of regular salt. Right in. So we have the sweet, the salty, and last but not least, a little OJ for that citric acid that we're looking for. Again, that's all gonna come out once it's reduced. Take a little taste here. Good. Back onto our heat for 45 minutes. Only a few more hours to karaoke. Unforgettable. Remember that whiskey barbecue sauce? It's reduced by half, about 45 minutes or so. Let's give it a taste. Wow, all the flavors have concentrated now. These are ready for the port. Now, wood chips, infused flavor. The rub, infused flavor. Now I'm gonna add my last element here. And we're just gonna baste these ribs. We're just gonna moisten them up here. We have 1 hour left to go. And all we wanna do is just make them nice and moist and have that glaze, that sweet glaze that we're gonna have on them. These ribs are gonna be phenomenal. But you know what? I should have these all for myself, but I'm not that selfish. Time to make 2 simple sides here. Doing some smoked barbecued rice on the grill. So I'm using some chicken stock out of a box here. Here we go. So, little rice, short grain, right in. Now we're gonna add in our vegetables here. Some bell pepper, green for color and for some sweetness. Red, again, for more color and more sweetness. For a little crunch, a little celery. And some onions, because onions brings it all together. Just mix this around in here now. Get our spoon, just mix that all around. Okay, a little Worcester. Just want to add extra flavor here. A little olive oil, because we don't want anything to stick. And again, because we use the store-bought stuff, this has salt in it, so you don't have to add any salt. Just pour it all over. So we add 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of stock, just a pinch of pepper in here. Now we're gonna smoke these with cherry wood. Let's just cover it with the foil. There we go. And the smoke's gonna travel in between here into the rice, and it will flavor it. Let's just put that to the side. We're gonna get some grilled vegetables here on, because I've got my first side done. All we're doing is we're gonna grill these on high heat. So we wanna cut them all the same size. That way we ensure even cooking all the way through. Cut the yellow zucchini here on the bias, which is just on the side here. There we go. Now these ribs, beef ribs, are done. We had the Asian spice on here, the 5 spice. See that bone? Nice and white, and the meat's actually starting to pull back, very soft. These are ready to come off now. Let's put these over here. There we go. And these pork ribs now, the spare ribs. Bastings all over. Ooh, let me get these off. There we go. Ready to come off. Now these are ready, nice and soft, but let them rest. Let all the juices go back to their natural places. These are ready to eat. Time to get our rice on, smoky rice. Now, I've had my grill on to get some smoke in there. I want to turn this down. I want to get it to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. I've got high heat on this side, no heat on this side. Gonna get our rice on. All the smoke is going to envelop and go into my rice. I'm gonna leave a little slit here. But I've used cherry wood in this situation because I've used cherry wood for my ribs. Might as well continue the theme, but you can use mesquite, hickory, anything you want. Experiment, play around, have a good time. This rice is gonna be on for about an hour. Close your lid, let the grill do the work. Gonna get our veg on now, a little olive oil. There we go. Little pepper, little salt. Season, season, season. Little oregano. There we go. Rub that on. And a little basil, or basil, whatever you like. Rub that on also. One more little coat. Just before we get on the grill, little spritzer of oil here. There we go. And just dump. These are gonna take another 5 minutes. I better go practice my scales.
It's time to grill.
This rice has been on for about an hour now, and it's ready to come on. Ooh, I can smell that cherry wood. Just sauteing some garlic and oil for my vegetables. Let's take a look at our rice. Ooh. Oh, look at this. Steam coming off. It's just me. That rice is done. All the chicken stock is absorbed. Cherry wood. All those vegetables roasted in there nicely. That's excellent. Let's get our rice into the bowl. Halfway through, let's little stop because we want to layer it because we're going to mix it all through later, but I believe in layering. Get some of those raisins in there. Finish off on top here. More rice. This is really coming together nicely. Let's add a little bit more of the cilantro. Look at the green color on there. It looks really nice. And some more raisins. Nice and chewy and sweet. That's what we're looking for. Just mix it through. Voila, fini. Time to cut up our grilled vegetables that we had on. Get these all onto this tray. Transfer it over. Here we go. Remember that garlic and oil that we had sauteing a little earlier? Now it's time to add all our vegetables. Woo! Listen to that sound. Let's get a toss in here. I'm doing a mixed grill medley here, but I need 2 more ingredients. Little canned tomato here. Put that juice in there, that's okay. All that's good. Some canned tomatoes all in there. Mix that around. And a little chicken stock. Moisten it all up and let that cook down and reduce. All those flavors will intensify. Now don't add any salt at this point because there's salt in the chicken stock. So let's mix this around. Wow, that's really good. That has to cook for another 20 minutes. Now we just gotta go slice our ribs. I've let these rest, so all the juice has gone back into the meat. Let's start cutting them up. In between, right down. Woo, perfectly done. Woo. Let's just give it a little taste here. All those 5 spices came out. Now for the pork. Let's cut these up. You can smell the whiskey here. Wow. Let's get a little taste on these ones too. Those are really good. The whiskey came out, all the spices came out, paprika, and that heat from the chili. Woo! Gotta finish the ribs, then we put on the tunes.